Do you remember Destiny? A game filled with mystery, wonder, exploration, but most importantly love? That was Bungie. Do you remember Halo, the game that brought together millions of players around the world for the most memorable moments on Xbox? That was Bungie. Fast forward to Bungie today, and what do we have? A shell of its former self, taken over by corporate higher-ups, profit-seeking nobodies, and games that not only upset the community, but an outright disgrace to former projects made with love and passion. Bungie has changed. Let's rewind the clock back to November 15th of 2001, the creation of Halo Combat Evolved, a game that would not only be played by millions of Xbox players worldwide, but would mark the start of Bungie's rise to fame along the infamous line of Halo games we all know and love. With memorable campaign moments with the Chief to becoming one of the most influential esports titles for competitive gaming. Bungie didn't just build a name for themselves with Halo alone, they did it with listening and caring for the community, building games they love and dedicating their heart and soul into their craft. This was the golden era of Bungie and its passion towards community and games alike. Fast forward to 2009, a poster with a familiar name and cover art would be placed within Halo 3 ODST, marking the official tease and start of Destiny as we knew it. 4 years later, Bungie would reveal Destiny to the world in 2013, a game filled with endless potential and shrouded in mystery waiting to be discovered. A game like no other. Looking back to the old days of Destiny and Bungie in 2014, I think we can all agree that Destiny at its launch and early days was a rough one with its own set of problems. However, through thick and thin and alongside multiple different expansions throughout the years, Bungie did deliver a phenomenal, community-driven, breathtaking game that was built on the Bungie love and passion we know they can deliver. Reflected by the community's love for Halo and Destiny, these games were passion projects, loved by all. This was Bungie at its best, and a lot of others can agree with this as well. For the topic of this video surrounding Bungie, let's do a quick recap of what has happened over the years with them. Today, Bungie is no longer developing Halo and has left the Halo scene entirely. In January of 2019, Bungie decided to split from Activision with the statement of more creative freedom and not meeting profit margins claimed from Activision, and labeled Activision the enemy of certain issues plaguing Destiny during that time. Bungie then would become an independent game studio until July of 2022, where Sony would acquire acquisition of Bungie for $3.6 billion. Now in present day, Bungie are now developing more games alongside Destiny 2 for future releases, like Marathon, an IP called Matter, and even more releases that have yet to be talked about. Looking at the current state of Destiny 2 and its community at large, you have to ask, will these future games even have a chance? After all, Destiny 2 is Bungie's main source of income. If that goes, they go along with it. And that brings us to the point of why Bungie has changed. We see a lot of today's gaming monetization practices put into Destiny 2 already. It's gone free to play, or free to try as everyone says. Battle passes have entered the scene. In-game events are now littered with cash grab opportunities. The cash shop is the main focus for updates and refreshes more often than in-game content, and how players overall feel betrayed and lost within a game filled with things to do every week that don't even feel rewarding. Was all this a mistake? Was this all planned from the start? Or is this miscommunication and bad moves from upper management? I'm here to tell you that this might have been set in motion long ago. There's a lot of topics and discussion of past decisions that truly are a domino effect for not just Destiny 2, but for Bungie when it comes to the state of the community and Bungie's reputation altogether. Such as sunsetting paid content, splitting from Activision, everything feeling the same season after season, miscommunication, and the cash shop. The list just continues. A lot of people will argue that Destiny 1 and Destiny 2 with Activision was better for the game than being split apart. A lot of people, including myself, can agree with this for the most part. A lot of my most memorable moments in Destiny 1 was with Bungie and Activision together. Even the first half of Destiny 2, with Forsaken obviously being the biggest chapter for all of us, was with Bungie and Activision together. After they split and things were celebrated for the better, it wasn't as it seemed to be. Now with the most recent events of huge layoffs at Bungie, resulting in a bunch of talented individuals from multiple different fields being let go, to even the most prestigious of people within the company like Michael Salvatore, who not only composed all of Destiny's original soundtracks, but to Halo's as well. The choices being made to let go of all these individuals, with good reason or not, is a dark and bleak future for Bungie as we know it. We all know the reasons why the game is bad and how it can be fixed. We all know the reasons why players are mad, frustrated, and exhausted. But why doesn't Bungie do anything to fix it? Don't they care about a game they are passionate about? The truth is, they are simply not the same from who you think they are. And deep down, Something sinister is in its place, telling you that everything is as it's supposed to be. Nothing is wrong. Even after letting go of the most valuable people that contributed to games that hold many memorable moments and experiences, nothing is wrong. On the surface, you can say this about every game and company. Minecraft, Fortnite, Call of Duty, you get the idea. Every game and company has its flaws and isn't perfect in all respect, but we all regard some era of some game to be the golden age. No Destiny pun intended. But at some point in our lives, we look back at what used to be the best times of our gaming memories, instead of what we have to play now. A shell of its former self, and in most cases, worse than what we experienced previously. A lot of people will say it's just growing up and falling out of playing video games, but for others, the feeling of love and passion is something you can't create from a cheaply made project. No cutting corners, no aggressive monetization tactics, and no automation for making ultimate profits without the player's best interest in mind. Profits is all that matters. Even if the worst is made, the company is on fire, and people are angry with others that are just doing their job. And you may ask, who are the people at the top? They are nobody. A faceless person you can't even name. How can it all be fixed then? When the community cries out for answers but gets none in return. Game content that feels repetitive, stale, rushed, and outright mediocre season after season, with promise of change when everything stays the same. How can we look to a brighter future for Destiny and Bungie when key figures who built the game for years are now gone? How can Destiny and Bungie be okay? I still love Destiny and still see that spark of untapped potential and mystery waiting to be discovered in 2014. A lot of people say they wanted Destiny 2 Lightfall to be the end of the Light and Dark saga when it was first revealed. But just imagine what we could have gotten with Destiny Beyond Light, Destiny the Witch Queen, and Destiny Lightfall. They have made it clear more than ever with the choices they have made throughout multiple different years, community apathy, the same content season after season, and systems in place to ensure maximum profits without the player's best interest in mind. Maybe Bungie and Destiny will change after all of this. Maybe they will make the game better. It's good to be optimistic, sure, but sometimes labeling someone with a face to blame for all the problems isn't always true. And who is really making all the decisions is someone you can't even name or see. The game devs and community alike have all voiced their desperate cries for improvement. Bungie have said themselves that what kills a live service game is not frustrated players wanting improvement, but apathy. I guess the true Destiny killer is Destiny itself. But surely this isn't a boiling frog situation and something that has only come up just because of these recent layoffs, right?
This is tough, and this is the one we're honestly still grappling the hardest with. It's hard to tell a team that has extra cycles and energy to want to do something amazing that would totally be amazing and awesome for the game to tell them, we should not ship this because it is an over delivery that will set us up for failure on future trains. You're literally limiting these people from pushing their limits to want to deliver something amazing because you're afraid of failure in the future. The last thing I'll say is like, something just needs to change. I don't know what it's gonna take for them to take a step back and realize that the way that things are going is not gonna last forever. And I hope it doesn't have to get to a point of them like the game almost dying and being 5 weeks away from closing down before they'll realize like, oh hey, we need to change stuff. Loving and hating a game are like 2 degrees off from each other, and they both come from passion. The thing that will kill your game is apathy.